Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this edition of the Destiny Education webinar. And this session today promises to be an amazing session. We already have our guest here with us today, and she's going to be sharing with us on a very integral subject matter pertaining to female leadership. Specifically, we're sharing on the topic empowering the next generation of female leaders, success strategies for women in leadership. And our speaker today is Ifeoluwa Esther Obafemi. And I'll just take a quite quick moment to read out her biography and then we'll proceed to the session. Ifeoluwa Esther Obafemi is a distinguished business leader, digital transformation strategist, and executioner with nearly 2 decades of experience driving commercial excellence and enterprise-wide digital transformation in FMCG sector. She is currently leading digital transformation and media for FrieslandCampina. She has successfully spearheaded transformative initiative 44 countries in sub-Saharan Africa. Consumer experience and engagement. As a fellow of the National Institute of Marketing Nigeria and an Institute of Management consultant, Ifeoluwa's expertise encompasses strategic planning, commercial excellence, marketing, digital transformation. She is recognized as one of Africa's top 45 most influential women in digital transformation and has been listed among Nigeria's top 50 women in marketing commercial for 2023 and 2024. She was also the first marketing award and is included in top 50 industry women in Nigeria. Additionally, major newspapers like Guardian, Vanguard acknowledge her in their 2024 special edition highlighting the corporate Nigeria. Her journey combines academic excellence with significant industrial impact. She holds a bachelor's in biochemistry, an MBA, and several executive. Beyond her corporate achievements, she's a mentor to professionals globally, an advocate for maternal and child health as a deputy chair of the Motherhood Nigerian. She's a published author of 3 books and passionate leader. Ifeoluwa is married to Ayobami Obafemi. Her steadfast together they have resilience and transformative power of purpose and personal and professional realms. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's such a delight to have you with us today.
So thank you for having me. And again, it's with some bit of some apologies that I have to just turn on the audio rather than come on video. Impromptu work demands, so I am on the road, but I'm sure that everyone who would listen in today should be able to learn some bits from my experience, and I'm hoping they can also apply in their life's journey, avoid necessary pitfalls that haunts women in leadership. So Maya, thank you for having me, and thanks to the entire team also.
Fantastic. We're delighted to have you. So our very first question to you today, as regards our subject matter of discuss, is please share with us your story and journey to becoming a leader in the digital and media insights. How were you inspired to pursue a career in marketing and branding, considering your background is in biochemistry? So how did that transition happen?
Okay. This is a question I love to respond to a lot of times because it's a story of no limits. It's such that I'm sure it can encourage a lot of people, whether they're early in their career or mid career, or even accomplished professionals, that you can always pivot. Regardless of where you are, in as much you have an open mind and you're adaptable and you're agile. There is no limit, there's no ceiling. Uh, my story, my journey into digital transformation, into media, and my work also, providing leadership for people who are all into consumer and shopper insights at some point has been a mix of passion, curiosity, and of, like I said earlier, adaptability. I've always been fascinated really with the digital world. I love to. Uh, I've always had it in mind that there are always better ways to get things done. So that's my first mindset, and how I've adopted technology in most of the things I get done. In my previous, while I was managing a commercial team, the team of field marketing and sales guys at that time. So it was one of the wins at that time was navigating the switch from manual reporting into technology-based reporting, which gave the team a lot of speed. They were able to focus their attention on more value-adding activities to business. So it started there. My flair started from there. So it was I won't say it was easy to transit, because you have to be sure what you have before you. You know, like the Bible would say that no man who wants to build a house who will not count the cost. And that's, I'm sure that's what your question is about. What were the costs that I counted, and how did I also navigate through all of that? And so over the years, like I said, I have always embraced data transformation and data driven, digital driven marketing activity. And I know definitely that the key drivers for success, for marketing success, would for the future will be adopting tech-based marketing uh, initiatives, into how we deliver our marketing strategy and objective. The world is switching. Our consumers and are also moving. And if you're a strong commercial leader, you know that you go where your consumers go, and that's where you get the business. So, and that's for me, leveraging data, artificial intelligence, technology to optimize brand and business engagement and consumer insight has been at my core. And my inspiration also came from the deep desire to create impact. So above it all, yeah, whatever you do, it's about what impact do you bring to business or for your brands. And so helping the brands and business tell meaningful stories while delivering measurable business result, are the big driving force for me. I hope my audio is still good. And like I said, I'm in transit. So please just confirm to me, Amaya. I think that can, for now, let me leave I hope that you found that insightful for people who are also listening in. There is no limit. It's keep
That
an open mind and just be very sure. Are you still with me? The
yes,
audio is
I'm
still
here.
great.
Yeah, it's here.
Okay, I'm just trying to wrap up the questions. Having an open mind, staying adaptable, and no need to fear. Just count the cost. What do I want to do? Why do I want to do it? Because I think that purpose driven mindsets. What you not just because people are moving into tech and you just want to move. And for women, it can be quite tempting. Same also for men, right? Can be quite tempting. But then be sure what you want to do. What aspect of technology or digital transformation do you want to operate in? Measure your strengths, your skills, and there are a lot of learning platforms now these days. You can learn, you can practice, you can adapt, you can just grow from there. So that sums it up. Thank you so much.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us thus far. Next question to you is: what were the biggest challenges you faced in leadership and how to overcome them?
Okay, another good question, and I really find them relatable. Speaking to challenges that I had encountered in leadership and I overcame them. Uh, in this field, given the level of digital adoption in our client, uh, getting people, getting organizations, people to transition from what they had always known to the new is usually like the biggest challenge for marketing leaders. And this is what we call, for digital transformation leaders, and this is what you call the change management part. But it's not much of a problem. I always tell people, what's your vision? What do you hope to achieve? How can you communicate it in an inspiring way? What is the need for people? If you can let them, you know, understand what the benefits will be, not just because we want to tick the box, but what benefit will it be for them, for the organization? And I think that is particularly powerful in getting people to go with you on that journey. So you have to be visionary and also inspire others to understand what you hope to achieve, how it will transform the organization, how it would also transform them. They will be learning new skills. They will be better professionals than they were, than they were when they were, accomplishing things the traditional way or the more comfortable way, as they can want to call it. So that's, I think, has been one of the biggest challenges. But then there's, like I always say to people, there's no problem without solution, and that's the solution I have described there. Also, most people have this challenge of navigating bias and earning a seat at the table as a woman in tech driven leadership. That hasn't been much of a problem for me, because I think I've been blessed to have solid leaders who already believed, regardless of my gender, that I can make things happen. And I think over time, if you women should strive to earn the trust of leaders. That women should be encouraged, should by themselves create a brand for them, a brand for excellence. Let it be said of you that if you're given a task, an assignment, or put on a project, it will be successful. And then it makes it easy. Nobody would doubt your credential or even cast aspersion on your ability to deliver or sit at the table. You would have earned it. And that is one thing. I know some people may want to use as excuse. We should never allow our gender to be an excuse for us in achieving success. So that's just some bit of charge there for women like me.
Fantastic. Fantastic. We should never allow our gender be a means of excuse towards attaining excellence. Thank you for sharing that as well. So, in your own case, how did you find mentors or role models that influenced and also sort of shaped your career and leadership style?
Okay, I guess I'm back on right now, right? Okay, very good. Amaya, could you confirm that I'm audible enough? Hi, Amaya. I can't seem to hear you anymore. Hello? Yeah? I will need you to
Okay,
confirm that you can hear me.
it seems we lost Samaya.
Okay, so
She
I think,
stepped out
can
of
I
the
proceed?
call.
I can proceed
Yes, you
though.
can. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to be
Yes,
sure
go
that
ahead.
just to check that I'm still on also. So let's make. I think she actually asked question around the role of mentors
Yes,
and
your
and
leadership.
okay,
Yes.
all right. So how did mentors shape my leadership style? this is one of the stories again that I like to share. I tell most people, and it is what I also have done, and I'm still doing. Whether you have leaders or managers, uh, you should. I mean, someone would say, "Oh, maybe because somebody had a not so good manager, and that's why the person you have learnt that person's leadership style." I believe we are individuals ourselves, and a lot of things shape our leadership style, from our background to our learning, our experiences. These are the things that shape our leadership style more than people who manage us. Um, and people who had managed us or who is managing us also can shape our leadership style. But one thing I encourage people is just pick the best traits from what those leaders, what they display and show. I would believe that if in any way a leader and manager make you feel in a particular way, you should tell yourself you would not make uh, people you manage. You should take that as a positive learning rather than to take that as a way to get back at people you also manage. So for me, in my leadership journey, I've been blessed to have a different gender of leaders and managers from different nationalities with different styles of leadership. But what I have done is to make sure that it's the good parts good parts, the part that I know that made me into who I am, that were positive in the journey that I've passed on to the next generation. I actively have also sought mentorship from people did not directly manage me, from professionals who have also navigated similar growth journey like myself. Some within my industry, some in leadership, business strategy, even in digital. I remember the time when I needed to pivot. It was actually an appointment, that made me pivot into the digital or tech landscape, and it's been a really, I mean, beautiful ride ever since. I mean, it's a continuous journey of learning. Is a learn. You just keep learning. So if you have an open mind, you just see you get better and better, and as a professional, and then you continually bring bigger and better value to your business. So I encourage people. You don't have to restrict what you learn to just people in your field or people who you work with at work. You should look out. You should not. You can actively look out for people who have journeyed the path that you see yourself being in the future, and seek mentorship. Some people you just observe from afar. Some people you have to walk up to them to let them know this is what I need to learn. And from those people we have heard, and I've also experienced, they misunderstand the idea of mentorship. Mentor won't look out, won't be looking for you. You have to be clear on what you need to learn from the mentor, what you want to gain from that mentor, and it's not financial. It's how to get to navigate certain maybe dilemmas, or take decisions. And if you have a good mentor who also can double as a coach, you would see that you would do very well. And their guidance, the mentors I've had, some are even my former managers, have given me confidence in strategic decision making. What I've learned from them, it has also helped me develop resilience in leadership approach, even in the face of challenges. uh, and I'm also by myself. I am a mentor to many. It's my own way of paying it forward to support other women in leadership. And the last but not the least, which is actually very important to me, I think I've had leaders turned mentors who taught me excellence in everything I do. They mirrored it, and I loved it, and I am imbibing it. So that's for me. I think it's profound. Know what you mentors have really shaped who I am today. from navigating career changes to certain decisions or work challenges or dilemma situation. I tell you, the role of mentors cannot be underemphasized. So yeah, good to get mentors, and they've really really helped me, and I'm sure most people can also they will also have testimonies in this regard. All right, Amaya, I see you're back.
I've been here the
Okay,
entire
good.
time. Thank you for helping us understand what the true essence is, and mirroring people, and also just helping us understand that it's a valuable part in our leadership journey. So my next question is, how do you define leadership in this era, and what are like the unique qualities should do we?
Mm. So one question that I always like to get people to share their different opinion on is, do you prefer a male leader or a female leader, and why? And in me trying to also answer that question, I actually do think it's not about the gender, it's about the person, really. From my personal experience, I've enjoyed having either of the gender lead me, and I have drawn on the full benefit of that relationship. And some may call it, it's also partnership, a win-win one. Leadership as we know it today is adaptive, should be collaborative and purpose driven, okay? And it also requires agility in decision making. Uh, and if you're in my field, you have to have digital understanding. You have to know your onions. Your digital literacy is powerful. Your digital fluency, and also having an inclusive mindset. Yes, women is very possible, and what they've also, I think we bring unique strength such as empathy, emotional intelligence, and transformational leadership. Yes, we women are very unique in our way and how we handle task, situation, project, and roles. I think we just, as much as we can be very decisive, there's also the soft side and soft skills that I think women bring in, which are critical for inspiring teams and fostering innovation. Like my current leader, in line management boss right now in my current role is a lady, and I think all of stuff that I described here are some of the key qualities that endears me to her even more. So that's I think, yeah, we have unique strength, and it brings and deliver the best results, because you need the team to be in the right state of the mind, and also have the right mindset to chase the objectives and the deliverables for the business. So that's my submission in that regard.
Fantastic, fantastic. That's really insightful. Thank you for sharing that with us. So my next question is, what key skills and traits should succeed in a rapidly evolving industry? Like, what should people look out for in terms of skill set that would help them um, grow in their leadership roles as women?
Okay. So I like to always say this, that what got you here will not get you there. And I think your question clearly also
Mm,
emphasized that if your technical skill had earned you your current position or got you into a manager role and you're now a leader within the organization, for you to succeed in that role or even attain a more executive role, you need a different set of skills. And one of the skills that skills and traits that are required is strategic thinking, and of course agility. I mentioned that when I started earlier. How adaptable are you? The world that we work in, the business landscape is constantly evolving, and for most businesses that are consumer centric, like I work in the fast moving consumer goods industry, consumers are at the heart of delivering our business objective. We just want to give them what they need. We're always thinking, how can we serve our consumers better? How can we, how can they choose us above the next best competitor? So, and if you have that mindset, that if you're adaptable and you're agile, you always think the way that would bring value to your business. So strategic thinking and being agile. Uh, you also need to have business acumen. I can't say this enough. It's for you to succeed in leadership or even ascend into leadership position. It is not about what you do day to day anymore. It's now about how do you deliver the business numbers? How will every of your action every day add to the top line, or even whether it's the bottom line, depending on your role in the organization. So, and these people always miss out. They just feel they're just coming to work. Let me just do my job. You should be conscious to ask yourself, how does what I do, how will what I do bring value to the business I'm working for? So if you're a value driven leader, whether you doesn't matter whether you're female or male, uh, this will always earn you a spot, even at bigger tables. Uh, Striving strategic mindset, strategic thinking, agility, business acumen, and it's also important to digital and data literacy. You can't leave it out of everything I've described. How much do you understand data and data analytics such that it can help you make data driven decision even in this rapid changing environment? How conscious are you of um, how to use technology to get your job done better and faster, while you can then use the business valuable time for other value adding activities to the organization. Self confidence, it's also very important if you need to overcome imposter syndrome. Sometimes you just want to wonder, can I do it? Or am I doing well? Or could there be somebody who can do it better? You are here now, you are doing it, so kill it. Mind my use of language, but that's what it is. Get it done. There are people who have gone through that route you're on, who have gone through your journey. That's where you seek mentorship. That's where you seek communities also, where you can also hear from others. You are not alone. Some people have been there. Some people are also going through it just like you. So that I think a powerful tool for next generation of female leaders to develop. Don't go the journey alone. Okay, you will go farther if you go together. If you're going alone, yeah, you can run and go faster, but you go the future. The journey is a long haul. It's not just short term. Like as a career journey, you want to build a really solid one. You should think the long haul and then put in the work for time. Thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you for just reminding us that we have to be willing to put in the work and think of it as a journey, and that we would definitely need people along this journey. So that takes me to my next question, which is, how can women participate in empowering a stronger support network? So can you sort of expand on the role of, let's say, sponsorship and also mentorship?
Okay. I want to believe our audience are people who are maybe mid-career or higher than that, because I think this question will be
Yeah.
more relevant to them. guiding younger professionals
Yes.
through, to grow, right? Empowering others. Um,
Yes.
I believe we mentioned mentorship. Yes, that's guiding professionals through career transition, and it can be people you work in the same environment or outside the same environment. Um, yeah, mentorship is a powerful tool to use, but then it won't be forced on people. You can't say I want to mentor you. The people who wants to be mentored have to be clear on what value I can bring to them. These are questions I ask people who come to me for mentor. What do you want to achieve? I'm a lady of many paths.
Yes.
And it's also important for me to know what you want to achieve. Where are you in your journey? So that we can be clear. We deal
Mm,
with what do we need to achieve.
yes.
Because in the end, I don't just want to be your perpetual mentor. Because I have mentors who have been my mentors for years, and sometimes we only talk 2 times a year. But it's usually I'm clear on what I need to achieve, what I need to learn from them at that time. Yeah, like today at work, I was already thinking of there's something I need to really call and just share something, and then get some insight, or I know she would help me think in a direction I really want to. I want to get in that frame of mind. So I mean that state of mind, pardon that, and that's what mentors should do. I know she will not give me these answers or solution, or she will not feed me. She will not just provide it. She will talk me through, ask me questions, and before I know it, before the end of the conversation, I have already crafted my own solution, and that's what mentors should do. Sponsorship, most times they say it can be in most time in the organization you work in. Sponsorship means you have somebody who has your back, even within your organization and your industry, who is looking out for you, who is speaking for you at the table. I think it's also important because there are rooms that you would never get into, and they will discuss your matter. So you need to always ensure that you have a voice in there, and not just to have a voice, a political voice, and all of that. You would notice that people you do not even know, if you're someone given for excellence, people that you don't know are pro. Now, let me say pro Amaya. Now, using Amaya's name, you will later hear that this person spoke so highly of you, while maybe you're doing a review, or they're asking who can do this, or who should we give
Yeah.
this benefit to. You would hear that. If you're given to excellence, your interaction with people, you ensure that it's value driven and value adding within your space, your organization. You would see people put in votes of confidence for you. So you see, now I'm speaking to not just the female leader, but also people who need female leaders to do certain things for them. How do you get it? I don't believe there's any sacred cow anywhere. Maybe for me, I believe that people earn certain things due to who they are, who they have also built themselves to be. People want someone, when they nominate people for certain things, they want people that they can beat their chest confidently and say, yes, Amaya would get this done. You go to sleep.
Yeah.
You have given her the task, she's clear on the brief, she will get it done. And that's the kind of person female leaders should build ourselves to be. Okay, I think I spoke to community building earlier. So yeah, we female leaders, can
Earlier,
create
yes, you
communities
did.
to share knowledge and all of that. I think we're good on that. So female leaders can
Yes.
build it. Then people too also should seek to be part of that community,
Mm,
for optimal benefits. All right.
true, true. Fantastic, fantastic.
Yeah.
So, okay, so my very next question is, how can female leaders balance the demand of high pressure roles in family and personal well-being?
Mm. There are, well, roles are high pressured, um, based on perspective, okay? Like someone would wonder and say, what roles are are not high pressure. I always would respond and say, if you're not in that shoes, you won't know, right? So people's no role
Yes.
uh, can be commonized. They use that word.
Yeah.
So yeah, whether high pressured is perceived as high pressured or otherwise, I believe that female leaders can manage their career and personal life with some wisdom. I was also speaking on a podcast last week, and this kind of question came up, and I say it's important first have a very strong support system. That I have found very helpful. I have a really excellent husband who is not afraid, who is, whose most joy, his highest joy is to see me accomplish greater stuff, greater feats. So he's there, we're supporting each other such that where I don't have that much of the strength, is there to just be that strength when mommy is out, and busy, we just find a way to double when he's out also, and busy in his career and profession, we just find a way to just create that balance. And there are times that I have to do certain long hours of studying, and because I'm in process of taking my doctorate, and I think that's how I came across Destiny Edu, right? And it's a journey for anyone who is
Yeah.
taking a doctorate, who has done it. So you really need a real strong support network to excel and get things done the way it should be. So I always say that to people. And of course, the first support system I have is God, then my husband. And I think my children are understanding. They're in their teenage age right now. So of course, they also need their space, but they also understand when mommy has to be there. When I'm back home, of course, I deliberately create time for family. Because for me, it's my happy place. It's where, after all the, pressure, everything at work, you just find your safe haven. Um, we shouldn't leave out the place of prioritization and dedication. And it's just in simple terms, is focus on what matters, okay? Focus on what matters. Um, Even
Fantastic.
at
Fantastic.
home, even at work, even at home, even at work. At home, there are things you could actually delegate. I said on the podcast I spoke on last week. I said even if people give awards for Superwoman, it's of no sense. Nobody gives that as a Superwoman of the Year. What's the metric for that assessment? So if there are things we could delegate, if it is to clear your garden, you can't say, "Oh, I'm a superwoman. I want to do it like the women of old," and you start doing it yourself. You could delegate that. There are aspects of life that you could delegate, and also at work, so that it will give you time to focus on the critical things that matters. And it skipped me to mention on the support system is not just at home. You can also have strong support system at work. You can build a network both at work, at home, to get your things done and support your career and family balance. Then it's important also for people who are in high pressured leadership role to set boundaries, set clear work life boundaries so that you don't burn out. We are in an age now where people have lots of challenge with mental health. I always tell some people in my fold that not everybody is normal these days.
Mm,
So, and how did we get there? It never used to be. It's because people get themselves to an edge and they don't know where they trip off. I know where they
mm,
go off the cliff. So don't be that woman. Don't get there. And well-being practices like prioritizing health, staying mindful, self-care. Please, it's not something to joke with. So that's and I'll leave on this note with a line that says a thriving leader is one who takes care of themselves holistically, and that includes from physical health, mental health, to family health, career health. You know, that's a really thriving leader, regardless of what industry you find yourself. So that's it. Thank you.
Mm. To you
Thank you.
tonight. Um, Just to be involved in continuous learning and education. So, what's the place of continuous learning and education for every female leader?
Yes. I think you have quite a beautiful list of questions. So, continuous learning. Continuous learning. When you stop learning, you start dying. So never stop learning. There's a way,
Mm.
I also put it on that podcast. I spoke about that. And I'm saying it again, that you see yourself like an axe, or a cutlass, or whatever it is, or a saw, you know, your life, your work, everything you do is like cutting a tree. If you want to succeed, it's like you want to fall a tree. And I'm just using that as an example. And what does that mean? The axe or the saw or the cutlass that is doing the work needs to be sharpened to do a great job. So that's why you shouldn't let your brain get into that rut where you do not know what's going on in your industry, or you don't even know what's going on in the world. You're just stuck in what you had learned like 20 years ago. And by the way, I graduated from the university 21 years ago. So you can imagine if I had not made it a task for continuous learning. And I've actually been blessed in my career journey to have a really interesting one where I had been given, opportunity, appointed to take on different roles within the commercial function, and even had even gotten into the digital space and all of that. Most of them by appointment, promotions. And imagine if I did not, I find myself learning things I never knew, was never taught in school. But thank God for a good background. I'm able to quickly learn and also put them to practice and deliver strong results for the business I work for. So continuous learning, it's not something to be pushed aside. The business operating environment is constantly evolving. And also with the proliferation of digital, I say for people who live in Africa or Nigeria, you would notice like after COVID-19, it was as if we were in a new world. Like we transitioned into a world that we never knew existed. Some people lost it at that point because they couldn't even catch up. And I give kudos to everybody who is still thriving at times like this, 5 years after then. So the leaders must then stay ahead of the trend in view of all the evolving landscape. Continuous education also is known to sharpen our problem solving skill and strategic thinking. And remember, I mentioned the strategic thinking is an important skill to have for leaders or people who want to develop into leadership roles. Let me just skip this last point, which is about what continuous learning also does. It enhances leadership agility and also prepare you for new opportunities and challenges. Okay, and that is one thing that we know. I mean, we know.
Are you there? Can you hear us? Oh wow. I'm guessing the network. But I'm thinking she should be back in no time. But hey guys, it's been an amazing time today. on this session.
Hello.
Yes, yes. At some point we
Okay,
couldn't hear
sorry.
you.
I think the connection went off. Or not even. I think it is what happened. It tripped.
Okay. Okay. So you were still talking about, the importance of learning.
I'm not sure why you're sounding like very far away now.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
At what point did you lose the audio?
Oh, can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Not certain. Can you hear me at all? Can you hear me?
Am I still connected?
Yes, you are. Lady Fair, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you. I'm not sure at what point you lost the audio, but I
Fantastic.
think the message was.
Oh, you were still talking about learning and the importance of it, of learning, and you were talking about giving the illustration of, sharp.
Oh, that's a long time. Is that the point you stopped hearing me? That's
Me? Sure.
Okay, we seem to be having some network, some disconnect with the connections here with our guest and also the host. Ifeoluwa, please let me know if you can hear me. Okay, I think all right. We'll try to get everybody reconnected and then we continue with the conversation. Please do bear with us as we do this, as we get this.
okay. Apologies, but you can't just predict these things. I'm back.
Okay, great to have you back. Great to have you back. I believe that I know you can hear me, right? You can hear me
Yes, I
clearly.
can.
Okay, great, great, fantastic. And yes, we can't predict these things. They happen. Sometimes you're feeling so comfortable enjoying the conversation, and then
Yeah.
a glitch, right? And I think you were talking about something before we had that glitch. You were talking about Amaya was asking about you know young women aspiring to be business leaders prepare themselves for leadership roles in the digital economy. I don't know if you touched on that.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I'm just surprised. I'm not sure if the audio went off earlier than I thought. So I was wondering where I stopped so I can pick up the conversation from there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we might want to have that. Let's have a bit of a hint on some of the things that they can do.
Okay, it was something I had around continuous learning.
Okay.
are we done with that part? I was given an illustration.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead with that. We can still have that. Hello, Ifeoluwa. Are you there? Okay. We seem to have had another form of disconnect with the guest as well, and the host is back. Amai, are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Boma. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. So Ifeoluwa was about to talk to
You
us
can hear me?
about. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. Yes, she was about to share some insight on the leadership roles in digital economy, how young women to be business leaders can prepare themselves for it. I know she had touched on that earlier before the line went out, and I don't know where you were in the conversation.
Okay, so yes, I'll just start from the top. So since we are unsure where we stop, so I think I had something around the role of continuous learning in building. I mean, for leaders and people who also want to aspire to be leaders. The importance of continuous learning for leaders, and I spoke about being a lifelong. Learner, which is critical, especially with the evolving landscape. Leaders or aspiring leaders should work at staying ahead of the trend. And one thing that we have known, and I particularly have found to be true, is that continuous education sharpens our strategic thinking skill. For people who maybe take an MBA, so to put it, and because I can tell you for real, I think I was given an example that I graduated from uni 21 years ago, and in between, I've done an MBA, I've done a lot of executive courses. It is important that we do not lose sight of the fact of what learning, be it classroom learning, be it on the job learning, be it community learning, the role for career development and for sharpening our minds cannot be overemphasized. Done my MBA. Not right now. I'm taking my DBA, and I'm almost halfway through, thanks to Destiny Edu and of course to the Trinity University community for the opportunity. Because I tell you, I like the flexibility of how things run. I can juggle it with my high speed, almost Formula One job life. So, and that's, I think it's powerful in that regard and helpful for leaders or aspiring leaders who also want to learn continuous. I mean, who want to either go back to school but still want to do their job and want to also sharpen their saw. Like I make that analogy earlier about the sharpening the saw. So if you are getting the job done, it's time also for you to retreat and you know get better at what you do, hone your skill, sharpen, learn new things, and then you're able to deliver better value for businesses and organizations that you work with. And not just to wrap it up, what continuous learning also help to enhance your leadership agility. Remember one of the things I mentioned earlier for any female leader, which is important, is that you stay adaptable and you're agile. Continual learning also bring you into this space and prepares you for new opportunities and challenges. So this, I think, it's really powerful for people who want to grow and learn in their journey. So on this note, I think I've lost both persons. Or do I have anyone here? I think I can bring it to a wrap. So thanks for having me, Destiny Edu. I have to run now. Uh, and yeah, all the best.
Phil, well, thank you very much for that insight. It is Thank you. We've been having this, and the glitches and all that, but we can continue with the conversation. So I want to ask you now something about self doubt, because from the conversation, you sound really confident, and that means it comes from years you've spent as a business leader. Yes, you spent in leadership, but before that, some persons who are aspiring to be leaders, have issues with imposter syndrome and self doubt. So, what advice would you give to young women in leadership dealing with that imposter syndrome or self doubt as leaders?
Thank you. I think it's a good question. And most of us, even the best of us, get to have this creeping a few times. The best advice I would give is just acknowledge your achievements. You're able, you're possible, and you're great. So those something around self-affirmation, understanding who you are. You earn that spot. You are here already. Don't let anyone, gaslight you or make you feel less of yourself. Don't make even yourself feel less of yourself. You have some badge of honor. So remind yourself of all those things. Keep a record of your wins and milestones. Okay? And it's always good to surround yourself with people who would uplift and validate you. Skills, mentors come in handy here, and a good support system also come in handy. And there are also things you can also do. Take bold steps. Dare dare the unthinkable. Apply for leadership roles, even when you don't think you have even met the criteria. Uh, Growth only happens outside the comfort zone. So, and here's my charge to you: you belong in leadership. Own your voice and your own space. Don't let anybody or anything make you feel less of yourself. So that's it. I think it's more around positive self-affirmation. I grew up reading this New York, my father then get newsletter from Norman Vincent Peale, the power of positive thinking. He's of blessed memory, and even his wife. So we get like almost every edition. So I find me reading those, little booklets growing up. And, I grew up with that mindset. I think it has worked. I know we don't all have the same background or the same learning or experience, but now that you can hear this, I hope that we can, push aside everything that makes you think you are not enough. You are more than enough. So that's my advice to women who are dealing with that self doubt. You can do it. The people who are doing it or who have done it, like my mom or who used to say that, was it my dad? They don't have two heads, and that is true. We all have one head, except in some unusual cases, and that is enough for you to say you can do it. You are not meant for the bottom. So chase your dream and be great while at it.
Thank you very much, Ifeoluwa. That was inspiring, inspiring words. I know you often do this. Let me ask you this on an aside. Do you normally give like a keynote speech to people, like motivate your workforce when you come in to work in the day? Your team, how do you? Because you sound like you do something like that. You talk to your team every morning when you get to the office. You give them inspirational words or motivational words to get by their day. Does that happen regularly at work?
Being a leader in the past, it's 18 years. No, 16. No, was it 16? When was 2009, 2010 thereabouts? So that's like over 15 years, right?
Mm,
Um, I mean, that's where I got my first manager role,
okay.
and because I've learned through the journey. Sometimes we know things people around you are suffering from not knowing. So it's always good, and that's why I do prioritize one-on-one time with my team. It's really important for, because everyone is different. Every of your team member is different. They have different motivation. They have different dreams and aspiration. So I may not do like every day pep talk or etc. But the monthly one-on-one, and of course I also make sure my door is open so they can walk up to me if they're going through anything, and I help them navigate it through coaching. Like a coach will not give you your answer, will not tell you what to. We just ask questions. Sometimes people find it uncomfortable, but the truth is, if you're able to find your own solution, you will never miss it. And you can also be a light to other people in your circle, because from that conversation, you're able to also to find a solution to your own issues or challenges. So that's how I, like manage my direct team, and I make sure that as much as it's good to also protect them when we are together, we tell each other the truth. Okay, this needs to change. This you're doing well, and we acknowledge that. But this is an opportunity that needs for improvement. So I would rather that we mess up where we're together than you mess up to the entire organization. Mess up. Let me put you on the right path, and so that you can be great. Well, when I'm not there, and because that's what determines a leader. Can your team survive while you're not there? Can they do great job even without you being there? Can you go on leave without being afraid that things will turn upside down before you're back? And that's it. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, it did. I mean, great. That's insightful. You've touched about practically everything. You've talked about continuous learning. You've talked about you know, mentorship, and you've talked about how to prepare oneself for leadership roles in the digital economy. I want to also look at some of the things that we hear at Destiny Education. We do a lot of career advisory services for individuals, and one of the things that most people, when we get to talk to professionals who want to upskill or reskill, and they are trying to balance their work, they're trying to balance family, they're trying to balance their life. We've heard people come in, and we've had conversations with them. But for someone who has lived this experience, what is the thing you're going to tell someone who's looking at it? The high pressure role, how to maintain sanity in the workplace, and in your personal life and your family life with leadership roles, because I know leadership roles are really demanding. So how do you maintain that balance?
Okay. I think I addressed this earlier, but I'll just sum it up in this
Okay.
regard. I'll just say it's important to have a good support system, like I said, and I gave example of myself and how I'm able to manage work, life, family, relationships, and all of that. And I also mentioned earlier around prioritizing actions and delegating. Don't try to do it all when there are things you can actually delegate. You have to focus on what matters. And I mentioned around setting clear work-life boundaries to prevent burnout. Say a lot of people dealing with a lot of both physical stress and mental stress, and that will also impact and affect the quality of the job that they do, whether they like it or not. So it's important to practice. To have good well-being practices, prioritizing health, mindfulness, and self-care. Like I reiterated, and like I said before, and I'll reiterate again, is a thriving leader is one who takes care of themselves. So I have to run also now. I have a meeting was supposed to start earlier, but I couldn't join. I hope you can allow me to just wrap up this
No,
note.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you very much, Ifeoluwa. We've taken much of your time already, so thank you very much for joining us in today's edition of this conversation. It's been insightful, and we appreciate you. Maybe some other time we can have, we had all the struggles with the network and the glitches here
Yeah.
and there. Hopefully, in the future, we can call you on again to come back and have a sort of like a round table. We talk about this some
All
more.
right. Thank you so much. I'm glad. Thanks for the invitation and for having me. You have a great evening,
All right.
and should it be morning elsewhere? Bye bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye. All right. This has been the webinar or the live event empowering the next generation of female leaders. It has been brought to you by Destiny Education. Now, Destiny Education is an advisory and higher education body. Agency in Nigeria, operating in Nigeria, and we specialize in recruiting um, prospects for partner universities across the world, particularly partner accredited American universities. Now, you can get all the information you need to have if you are interested in upskilling or reskilling to secure leadership positions. You can get all the information you need to get on our website, destinyedu.com, and find out the degree programs that fit you as you aspire into leadership positions. Thank you for being part of this live event.